So I'm going to do a little bit more testing with this funny VTOL thing. It's a very nice day today, which is good. A little bit of wind, which is not quite so good, but it does have the nice side effect of drying out the grass. So hopefully we're not going to be seeing so much water, and hopefully definitely no splashes. So first thing I'm going to test, I haven't changed anything from last time yet. First thing I'm going to test is turning off the gyro stabilization in helicopter mode. So you can hear it's doing it there, but I've put that on the dial here, or two dials actually, one for pitch and one for roll. If I turn those right down, then we get no response. So I'm expecting that in plane mode that will be great, that'll be just fine, and in helicopter mode it will not be very good at all. So you might break a prop here, but let's just sort of see what happens. It might not be too bad. Oh, the wind, I can feel the wind pushing it all. Oh, this is not going to go too well, I think. Alright, here goes. Well, as you can see, I'm having to... had a yaw issue there. Couldn't keep it controlled. But as you can see, I was having to keep it tilted like that because the wind's coming from over there. So that was a little bit tricky. And let me just... I haven't actually flown this for a few days, so let me just put the gyro stabilization back up to full. And I just want to see if I can feel any difference between those two. And just remove this core sample from the pipe and try that with the full gyro stabilization. Whoops! Didn't want to do that. Well, it's definitely better, but boy, that wind is making things difficult. That's has a lot more influence than I thought it would. Alright, so the answer is the gyro stabilization helps a bit, but it's not impossible to fly in helicopter mode without it. So now I'm just going to... Unfortunately, I can't change these dials in mid-flight, which is a little bit awkward. So I'm just going to have to turn the gyros off again, and I'm just going to fly around as a plane for a bit because I found that quite fun, and I was a little bit sad to have to stop doing it the other time I tried this because it was getting dark. But let's see what this is like. Whoa! I think I heard a prop break. Damn. Wow, that was all over the place. Maybe I do need gyro stabilization mode in plane mode. Oh, props are good. That's lucky. Okay, let me turn the gains up to about like halfway. So we've got a little bit now. Let's try again. Oh, the wind has just stopped. Let's go. It definitely favors rolling to one side over the other, which is interesting, but it's very controllable. Well, okay, most of the time. But it's not doing that fishtail maneuver that it was doing before. Roll is not very steady. So roll is yaw when you're in helicopter mode. So it's definitely the two motors are not acting together the way they should. But as you can see, I'm fairly comfortable with bringing it down close to me like that. This is about as slow as it can go, I think. It's actually a pretty decent plane. Here we go again. I would... Ooh. Let's try a bit more speed. I can hear something vibrating. It's probably not great. What happens if I let go of the sticks? It rolls to the right. Okay. Trim a little bit. It ain't half bad, I've got to say. Now, it has a tendency to knife or slide sideways if you turn too much, or like if you roll to one side a bit, it sort of dips down. But I think actually all planes do that, really, don't they? If you don't keep enough speed. Yeah. So I'm flying at, throttle is about 60%. So you could probably get a pretty decent flight time like this. This is about throttle 50%, but I'm slowly descending, so it's okay to do that. This is as slow as it's going to go, I think. Alright, now I guess I have to try a landing or a revert to helicopter mode. And this is tricky, but watching the video from last time, I think the problem I had was that I didn't keep the throttle up enough, and it started to descend like directly down towards its tail. And when it does that, there's less airflow over the elevons, and it can't. You just lose control because there's no airflow. So what I'm going to have to do, let me just practice this, is I'm going to have to come down, and I'm going to have to go up like that, and then I'm going to have to give it lots of throttle so that it can't sink back downwards into its tail. Okay, so let me just come around that side again. I'll just walk over here and give myself a bit more room. And I've got to flip that switch at the same time too. Okay, ready? No. Oh wow, I totally lose. I have no roll control. Now when I say roll this time, for that commenter, in helicopter mode, I probably confuse these terms quite often, and I probably will again. But what I'm intending to say is that when you're a helicopter, this is roll, and this is pitch. Well, this is always pitch, and this is yaw. And when you're a plane, this is pitch, and this is roll. Well, this is roll, and that's yaw. There were a few comments about that. So that's what I'm intending to say. But when you're making a video like this, you get things wrong, and you just can't be bothered correcting it. So never mind. So it's the switching back into heli mode is very tricky still. But flying it as a plane is a lot of fun. So let me see if I can do that switch back again. See, I can't even, I'm having a lot of trouble. Once it gets out of control, you just can't bring it back. Now the wind's coming from over there. It seems to be that unless you keep the throttle very, very constant, that's going to happen. It always seems to happen when I'm adjusting the throttle like that to try and control it vertically. Winglet came off. I better glue that back on. It's getting quite windy now. Anyway, I think I'll just have to fix that and then come back. Hold on. I thought while I was back over here I might try a lift off from the ground. I really don't think this is going to work at all, but let's give it a test and see what happens. Step way back. Look out, puss. Hey, not a good place to sit. All right. That was about 80% throttle. I should have given it a bit more, eh? It didn't even really lift up much, did it? Oops. Alright. Full throttle this time. Did you see that? Just as it got close to the ground, I hit full throttle again, and this time it flipped backwards. So there's just sort of no rhyme or reason to what it does when you give it lots of throttle, unless, yeah, it seems like, whoops, constant throttle to make it hover is okay, but quick changes in throttle is bad. So, yeah, not really sure what that's about at the moment. But anyway, let's see if I want to try and do one vertical like switch from plane to helicopter and then land. Actually, why don't I just try landing, take off here and land there, just like this. Back up. Wow, that was... Now I've got no roll control. What the hell? A roll is like this, okay? No roll control. I might try it again because that prop is not completely broken yet. It will be soon. Yeah, it's like even when you try and go down just a little bit, you lose control. You know what I mean? Back into the, down like that into the prop wash, it just doesn't work at all. Not even a little bit. That's why I can take off and I can like climb reasonably well, but any attempt to come down just fails. See? Almost got it. No, I don't think it's going to work in its current state. It's just not stable enough. One more try. Oh shit. No idea what happened there. I think I'm just going to go and fly it as a plane a little more because that was fun. This is not working out. So at this point I'm a little bit stumped as to what should be done to fix the control program problem. Pretty sure it's something in the software, like there's nothing in this sort of, you know, physical arrangement that's a problem. But I just don't really know how to change the program at this point. So I think for the rest of this video I'll just fly it around as a plane and I'll practice doing the change into hover mode and I'll try and catch it like that, and that's my goal, and I'll just put in all the failures, and if there's a success I'll show you the success as well. Oh, you know what I should do first? Hang on. I'll just put it in plane mode to begin with, and oops, here we go. I'll put it in plane mode the whole time and try and hover and land in plane mode. It's probably not going to be any better, but let's give it a try. Wind is coming from there. Actually, you know, if it's in plane mode, practice this at a higher altitude without risking problems. Because if something goes wrong, I can just bail out like that. See that? It loses. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me do that instead. Actually, I'll try some aerobatics while I'm at it. Wow, it's pretty cool. This is 100% throttle. Oh, it's pretty nice. Ah, no. Yeah, that's the danger. You see what's happening there? It was just trying to sink backwards. If you get stuck in that state, it seems like there's just no way out of it. But fortunately, I managed to hit the throttle real hard before it could get stuck in that state. This is fun, man. This is just as a plane. I would say, like, if anybody's watching this and they're kind of intrigued by it, but they don't want to bother with the Arduino side of it and trying to do gyro stabilization and all that, just set up a plane like this, just as a normal plane, and fly it. It's kind of fun. It's quite easy and cheap. And I think, even though I do have some gyro stabilization working here to change the speed of the motors to keep the yaw to a minimum, I think at speed and with those winglets it's not really doing much. Like, you don't really need it too much. Let's try some inverted. Away from the sun. Oops, oh. Hang on. I haven't flown inverted for a while. Let me try that again. There we go. So that's no problem, obviously. Only problem is me trying to control it. Let's do some close-in flying. Now that I've got enough footage for the video, I can mess around and risk breaking stuff. Huh. Yeah, who cares about VTOL, man? This is just a fun plane. Still a little bit of fishtail waggling there, I saw, at high throttle, or high speed maybe. Ah, damn it, I need more practice at flying inverted. That was just my fault. Ooh, okay. Now I'll try doing some hover landings, unless I've broken a prop, in case I might just finish the video here, but let's see. It's a little bit bent. Let me just bend that back a little. Alright, that'll do. Okay, so let's do some practice landings, all in plane mode. Wasn't really trying to do that, but it probably looked like I was. Alright. Ah, damn it. It's tough, man. I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, the more I do it, the more I'm becoming convinced that... I think I better change that. The more I'm becoming convinced that it's just... Any time you go down like that, you just... It's really difficult. I might be able to pull it off if I keep trying. I have a couple more batteries. But that... Oh, yeah. That'll fly. Let's give it a try. Yeah, but I don't really hold out much hope that I'm going to be able to do it, to be honest. And I don't think that prop being damaged is going to help any. Oh shit. Nah. Sorry, that's I think that's the end of the video here. It's hard. Boy, it's hard. But it's a lot of fun as a plane. So, thanks for watching. Bye.